All right, you guys, it's 5 o'clock, and we're going to go ahead and get started for our closed session. And so today is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. I'm going to go ahead and call our closed session to order. And Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on our closed session item?
No, there are no requests to speak.
All right, and how about any correspondence received on closed session?
No correspondence on
Excellent.
closed
All right,
session.
so council members, let's go ahead and recess to closed session. It's 5:01, and we'll be back for our regular meeting at 6. All right, good evening, everybody. It is 6:02 on my clock, and so we're going to go ahead and get started here with our Wednesday, August 16, 2023 City Council meeting. We did have a closed session. Mr. City Attorney, do we have anything to report out of that session?
Not tonight, Mayor.
All right, thank you. So, Madam Clerk, have we received any correspondence on tonight's agenda?
Yes, council was emailed directly some correspondence related to item 12.4, and copies are also available in your folders. And as always, all correspondence will be attached to the official record.
Very good, thank you. And if you don't mind, would you call roll for us?
Councilmember Dynas?
Here.
Councilmember Estrada?
Here.
Councilmember Sobek?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Carwin?
Here.
And Mayor Zimmerman.
And I'm here, thank you very much. I see we have Pastor Steve Leonards from Eagle Ridge Church, and his wife Catherine's here as well. Pastor Leonards, thank you for coming and providing some words of inspiration for us this evening.
It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I understand we are celebrating as a city 15 years old, coming in October. So October's a big month, 15 years. I've been out here since 1985. And that's back when we were, I believe, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we were a one-state or brother town back then. And so we've seen a lot of growth. It's been nonstop growth ever since, and it continues to grow daily. Just about any road you go down, you see something new popping up. So it's all good, and I'm thrilled to live here. It's a wonderful city. I'd love to pray for our council and our city, and if you'd like to bow your heads, this would be a good time to do that. Father, we thank you for a beautiful city, the city of Menifee, and I want to pray for our city. I pray for the citizenry here in our city, Lord, that you would continue to keep them safe. We're grateful for a police force that's amazing, and I'm so grateful for our council, our mayor. I pray that you would continue to bless them, guide them, stir among each one of them a cohesiveness to work as a team. There's nothing that we can't accomplish when we work together in one accord. And just, again, so thankful that we're celebrating soon 15 years as a city. Lord, I pray that you'd bless the wonderful events, that the birthday event that's being planned, that it's well attended. And Lord, we just ask that your hand would continue to be on our city. Bless every aspect. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Pastor Leonards. We always appreciate you taking your time for us. All right. We're going to go ahead and move now. Let's do our flag salute. And I see we have Tom Crunks in the audience. He is the owner of Clever Fox Escape Room, as well as our Joyful Noise Coffee, and his wife Jenny is here too. But if you don't mind, Tom, would you lead us in the flag salute, please? All you got to do is tell us, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Tom. All right, we are now, council members, going to go up to the front, and we're going to start with our first presentation, item 5.1, and I'm going to ask our Citizen of the Month, Natalie Gagliano, to also join us in the front. So, council members, if we can. Check, check. Okay, so as many of you might know, each month we here as a city council choose somebody who is one of those kind of behind-the-scenes volunteers, does a lot of things on their own to better our community and our quality of life. And each month, one of us council members takes turns selecting somebody. This month is our Mayor Pro Tem Bob Carwin's choice. And so I'm going to turn it over to him to explain why he chose Ms. Gagliano as this month's Citizen of the Month.
Well, one of the things that I personally look for in choosing a Citizen of the Month is somebody who is a role model to other citizens, who I think is representative of the people of our city. And so I went online and I said, who should be Citizen of the Month? And I just got blasted with messages saying, Natalie is the person who it should be. And if you don't know her work, you might recognize her from that podium where she stood right there and yelled at us about our animal ordinances. And I just was taken by the passion that you have for helping animals. I'm a big animal guy. My wife works at an animal rescue. So Natalie, through her own time and her own money, takes in strays, and she trains them and finds foster homes for them and gets them placed with families. And then since I've nominated you for Citizen of the Month, you've made me look like a genius, because just this week she sent off 45 packages with the longshoremen to the folks of Maui, and raising supplies for the well-needed people over there. So this is the kind of volunteerism that we have existing in our community, and I was just so thrilled that you accepted my invitation to be nominated as the Citizen of the Month. So should I pass the mic down? Let's pass the mic down and see if we have some fine words. First, I'm going to pass it to Councilwoman Lisa Sobeck.
Well, Natalie, I didn't know you, so it's nice to meet you. Congratulations. As Mayor Pro Tem Carwin said, it is citizens like you setting an example to the rest of our citizens to show what we are like in the city of Menifee. I too work with an animal shelter here in the city, and have some young adults that serve there that I found that they were looking for volunteer opportunities. And think it just is amazing that each of us can find our niche and we can make a difference. So just thank you.
It's amazing how one citizen can make such a difference in our city. And we start multiplying that, then we become a great community. And you're a very big part of it. So thank you for all you do, and congratulations. You deserve this.
Natalie, thank you so much for the leadership that you've demonstrated. It takes citizens like you to step up and make us a community. You know, we're a blanket, and there are many different weaves that make that great blanket. So thank you for all of your service. And on behalf of all the animals that couldn't make it in the audience today, thank you very much.
And before we go any further, I want everybody to see your shirt here. She's promoting the dog services here. It's thedogservices.com is the website that she set up for her. I'm not going to call it a rescue, but your efforts, your animal saving efforts. So before we present this to you, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, actually, I would. I really appreciate the award, but I want everybody to know it is not just me accepting the award. It's the city of Menifee. I cannot do it alone. I do believe in a community, and as a community, we need to come together for make Menifee a much better place, not only for the animal, but for the people, for natural disaster. And I could not do it without the residents in Menifee. So this goes to everyone.
So in recognition of your new position as the current Citizen of the Month, we've got this declaration for you. I'll read it for you. It says, in recognition and appreciation of your generosity and compassion, your commitment to helping build lifelong relationships between people and their pets through partnering with local shelters and offering low-cost training, free dog assessments, among many other related services, has truly made a difference in the Menifee community. The Menifee City Council commends your selfless dedication and wishes you all the best in helping pets live a better quality of life. This is for you. Here helping her out, who's helping her both volunteer. Why don't you come up and get a picture with all of us? Would you like to join us as well? And Rose, come on, Rose. Oh, I didn't bring my... That's... Come see us up there, Rose.
All right, next up, we are going to ask the folks from Avi and Tim Barone. Are you guys here? Come on up. They are the owners of Ready, Set, Game, which is a new gaming place. It's actually about a year old now, right? Almost, in Sun City. And I remember when we had our ribbon cutting over there and everybody's fingers were crossed that you were going to be successful. And then just recently we had a Chamber of Commerce event there, and I got to talk to you both, and you were saying we're doing very well. In fact, we expanded, and we have another space next door, and we got to go and check that out as well. So that's just great. We absolutely always hope that we're going to see new businesses who choose to come to Menifee find it to be a place of success where you blend in with the community, offer a brand new service, and it's so unique, and I absolutely love that you were brave enough to try it and to hear that you guys are being successful. I'm going to pass the mic over to Gina Gonzalez because she's going to share more about your business and why you were chosen as Business Spotlight of the Month.
Thank you, Mayor. It's great to see Avi. Many people don't realize, but Avi is one of our longtime old City of Menifee employees. So back in the days with code enforcement. So this is kind of nice. It brings it back home. But very proud of these two right here. You guys have been involved in the community for quite some time. But we're proud to honor Ready, Set, Game is our August Business Spotlight. We're going to call them RSG for short. But they have really gone above and beyond the call of business each and every single day. And it was created for kids and people of all ages to unplug and play a variety of tabletop games, from Pokemon to Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, to all sorts of board games. RSG is a family-owned and operated gaming business with the idea of having people gather around a table, spend time together, and play tabletop games. The owners, Tim and Avi, wanted to create a space for everyone to have a place to belong. This has been evident through the variety of games that have been built a community around Ready, Set, Game. The Barron family first became Menifee residents way back in 2006 and have watched Menifee grow to what it is today. From a young age, Tim, which was just a couple years ago, has always dreamed of owning a gaming business centered with what you can now say that fantasy has been fulfilled with the help of his awesome wife, Avi. In November of 2022, RSG's grand opening has even since expanded, as the mayor mentioned, from popular demand and the following that you guys have created. They have two main gaming lounges, one of which is even Star Wars themed. And visitors can even have the ability to reserve a fully equipped private game room. RSG has now become an official Pokemon League. So I know that all of you guys are league players. And offers training camps and tournaments. So if you're not part of the league, you can go get trained to be in it. Not only do they sell trading cards and memorabilia, but they also have the ability to offer 3D resin printing services for gaming accessories and miniatures, as well as a really cool snack bar. I'm just going to say it is pretty cool. RSG has even created quite the following for the senior community, believe it or not, you guys. They're the ones that actually outdo everyone there and want the doors to stay open past closing hours. I'm just going to say that. They want to stay later than 11 p.m. We're very proud to honor Menifee's unique retailers and a business that has provided an entertainment experience within the city of Menifee. And so with that, as part of the recognition, they do get a promotional marketing video. So with that, we'll roll it first.
How about a hand for that ad? That's pretty outstanding. I try to pop in on you guys once in a while to make sure the place is still going off, and it is. And I wanted to make sure that you got recognized because people keep asking us, what is there to do in the city of Menifee and unique offerings. that we're trying to highlight. That's one of the purposes of our business spotlight, to let people know, hey, there's a gaming place in town where you can go and sit down and look people in the eye and spend time and game. It's such a unique offering for the city, and especially because you're homegrown, we love it. So I'm so glad that we got to honor you here today. We'll pass the mic down. Maybe folks can say a word for you.
Just want to say congratulations on being our business spotlight of the month for the month of August. And Abby, it's just great to see you doing something else in the city of Menifee. I just wish your business many, many years of success.
Well, speaking for the old people, we like board games. It's something we can handle. Video games, not so much. Been there, done that. My kids just obliterate me. So we appreciate being able to go down there and have fun. So congratulations, you deserve this.
Hey guys, I'd like to challenge you to a game of checkers sometimes, okay? So you guys are a unique business, and you guys are in a unique shopping center. And I'm really rooting for you. The whole city's rooting for you. Bob is lucky enough to have you in his district. If you're looking for a second location, District 2 would love to have you. Okay. So congratulations, and good luck the rest of the way.
That was well said. So we have a nice proclamation for you. It's actually a framed certificate for your wall, and it's declaring that this day recognizes your dedication to Menifee community, your continued commitment to improving the quality of life for our residents. It's signed by all the council members. We hope that you'll put it on your wall there at the shop, and that many people can see this special day, and every time you see it, you're reminded of this joyous event that we're all doing right now. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to say a few words if you'd like as well. So.
We just first and foremost want to thank the community for helping us from the very start of the process. There was no doubt in our mind that this is where we wanted our home to be. We've raised our family here. We work here, we play here, we pray here, and we wanted to share that with the community, because that's what Menifee truly is about, is a community. And so to bring something from a dream to reality with the help of Gina and City Council and with everybody from building processing to inspections and all of that was such a smooth process that we're so lucky to have the support of everyone here. We want to be able to contribute that back. We noticed that after the pandemic, people were just struggling for connection, and we wanted to give an avenue that's wholesome, that's family friendly, that brings people back off of their tablets and technology and just make memories, even with people that you wouldn't recognize, that I could spend time with them and not have in common with them. Games bring everybody together. So we are going to invite all of you to come join us, make memories with us, learn a new game, play an old game, challenge accepted. We're ready for events. We'd love to get involved in the school communities and give kids something to do that's also bringing the uniqueness of Sun City, because there's so many other businesses besides our own that we love to draw people to. There's so many new restaurants. Clever Fox is located there. We have all of these things that people didn't even recognize, like, oh, this is what Menifee is also about. So we'd love to just expand that and share that all with you. So it is with grateful hearts that we are blessed and continue to thrive because of the community, not because of us, but because you've allowed us to share that with you. So thank you.
She pretty much said everything that I was thinking, but the biggest thing that I just wanted to convey was just my personal gratitude to the city. We moved here, my first daughter was born, and I had no idea it was going to be a new home for us. And we've never really had anything in Menifee happen to where I've ever felt a door was closed, ever felt there wasn't an opportunity. And that just started from the leadership all the way down to just the people at the convenience stores, the people in the corners, the police that are now here. Like everyone we ever interacted with always made us feel like this is home. And so we wanted to continue to give that back and spread that feeling to others. And I've noticed over the last few months, a lot of people that come in our store are coming back to Menifee for their fun, whereas they used to leave. And it's nice to see them feel like they're starting to belong more in our city, which is kind of what we really want, is people to feel like they belong here. So it's been fun.
Well said. All right, so we're going to tighten up, take a photo. All right, one more round of applause for Tim and Abby. Congratulations. Okay, next up, I see Vanessa Barrera is on her way to the podium. Council members, let's stay up here. I'm also going to ask our CERT team, they look so handsome in their blue shirts and all. Would you guys come and join us as well? All of us, and I know David's going to kind of be a part of this, but we'd like to have all of those who are here for our CERT program to join us. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Vanessa. We are going to be proclaiming, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about it, but it is the National Preparedness Month Proclamation. And so that is what today is.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vanessa Barrera, and I serve as the city's Human Resources Analyst. I specifically focus on risk management and emergency management. The city of Menifee every year declares September as National Preparedness Month in order to increase the importance of being prepared. And one of the programs that assists us with these efforts is our Community Emergency Response Team, also known as CERT. So the city greatly appreciates everything that our CERT volunteers do, especially when it comes to training, events, and even assisting us during emergencies. And with that being said, Dave Fowles will be accepting the proclamation, and I'll let him say a few words.
Thank you, Vanessa. I'm proud to be able to speak on behalf of our CERT team here. And this is just a few of the members that participate regularly here in the city. You know, disasters can happen at any time. It's inevitable, and so we need to be prepared. And so really the focus of CERT, Community Emergency Response Teams here in Menifee, is to train citizens to be able to take care of themselves and their neighbors in the event of a disaster. We just had a 20-hour session led by the County of Riverside Emergency Management Department just last weekend here, right here in City Hall. And we offer several classes during the year, and we meet on the second Tuesday of each month at 6 p.m. right here in this room. And we welcome you to join us and learn how you can be better prepare yourself and your family. Thank you.
Bob, can you grab the proclamation? Did you guys want to share anything, kind of thoughts about our CERT team?
I do. Ever since I've been on the city council, that CERT is one of the things I've been encouraging our residents to get CERT trained. And when I got on the city council, I took a class as soon as it came about, and it was just a great information. If you're a resident and you're watching this from home, if you're a parent, a teenager, a grandparent, if you live alone, come and take that free 20-hour course. It could save your life. It could save your neighbor's life. You just never know when that disaster would happen. And if case a disaster, we have so many police officers and we have so many firefighters. And if it was during the day, where would we find them? We would find them at the schools during the day. And at night, where would we find them? They could not go to every single house in the city. So we need to be able to take care of ourselves. We need to know what to do, and we need to be able to take care of our neighbors. And I just appreciate the leadership team and the time that you put in. I see you out at our city events recruiting, and you don't have to be part of the leadership team. You can just get CERT certified and carry that little backpack in your car in case of an emergency or disaster and know how to turn off that gas meter. So thank you, Vanessa, for doing what you do in our city. And I think if we're just well prepared, it will be much easier during a disaster. So I'll pass it down to you.
Thank you. You know, after I first got on city council, my wife decided it was a good idea to sign me up for the CERTs. And so she and I attended. We were with Diane there. And two things. One, you learn some things about safety and what to do in an emergency. Number two, you forget all that in the middle of an emergency. It's very easy to do that because at the end there's a practical exercise, and it kind of opens your eyes to what you do know and don't know. So I'd encourage everyone to at least take the course. There's a small amount of time out of your vacation or whatever you have to take, but take it. Learn how to take care of your family and your neighbors. That's so important. So I encourage that. I thank all the volunteers for all the work. 'Cause I know it's a lot of work. It was said that you're at all of our events. You're meeting regularly. You're doing a lot of things. So thank you so much for your time and effort in this.
Everything was said.
Everything was said.
I think we all know that our CERT team is much more than just a breath mint. Get it? Sorry. Bob, did you have anything to share after that? All right. So with that, you got to have a little levity every once in a while. We do want to declare August as National Preparedness Month, and we, as it was mentioned by my council colleagues, we do thank all of you guys for your efforts and for your volunteerism in helping to keep our community safe. So thank you so much. I'm going to present that to you, and maybe Phil can take a picture. We're going to try to tighten up a little bit. Okay, next on our agenda is a update from our Community Services Department, and I see Ms. Mitchell is at the podium, so go ahead and take it away, please.
All right, good evening. My name is Mariana Mitchell, Community Services Manager with the Community Services Department. It's my pleasure to provide our monthly update for the Community Services Department. So first off, we're going to start off with a brief video that was put together by our recreation team that kind of showcases and commemorates some of the fun moments that took place this summer that will ultimately turn into lifelong memories for some of our residents. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and get the video started. All right. So that was just a brief glimpse of everything that happened during the months of May, June, July, a little bit of August. Again, there was something for everybody, and I just wanted to take the time to thank all of our staff. If it wasn't for the number of part-time staff, some of them, this was their first job working with us this summer. Some of them returned after working with us last summer. But ultimately, we very much appreciate our frontline staff who make these wonderful memories for our Menifee residents. So I just want to say thank you to them. So although summer is over, doesn't mean the fun is over. So now that summer's over, we are starting our regular school year programming. So Lazy Creek was busy all summer long. It's going to continue to be busy throughout the school year as we're starting up with our after-school adventure program and our teen hangout. So we're also resuming our regular Tiny Tot, which kind of is our preschool programming this month as well. So we're encouraging residents who are looking for either preschool program during the day, after-school care at Lazy Creek for your teens or school-age children to go down to register either directly at Lazy Creek or online at cityofmenifee.us/register. We are also currently recruiting for our youth leaders of Menifee. So these are our future leaders. These are enthusiastic young people who are looking to create a difference in their community they live in. And we are currently accepting applications online through the City of Menifee website, cityofmenifee.us/YLM, and the deadline is the end of this month. So we also have some upcoming events we want to make sure residents are aware of. This Saturday, we have our contract class showcase and open house. So for residents who may not be aware, we have a number of community members who have a talent or something they'd like to share with some of our residents. So some of our local community members are contract instructors and offer classes like ballet folklorico, taekwondo. We have some art classes. And so we're giving an opportunity for our contract instructors to showcase all of these opportunities for our residents to participate in this Saturday at the Case Senior Senior Center from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you'd like to see what we have to offer, we welcome you to come on down. We'll have several performances as well as some treats for people who attend. Also, in conjunction with working with the MSJC, we have our 9/11 commemoration ceremony that will be taking place on Monday, September 11th. And it is going to be at the MSJC campus, directly between buildings 800 and 900, which I believe is near parking lot C, starting with breakfast for the first 100 people, and then a brief welcome, a ringing of the bell, unveiling of an artifact, and then the ceremony begins at 8:30. And then we also have on September 23rd our next bulky item drop-off event, which is going to be taking place at Heritage High School. Again, this event is from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. or until bins are full. We have decided, since the great outturn from last year's event at Heritage High School, we've expanded our offerings, and so we will have more bins out there as well as the front loaders. So if you're looking to clean out your backyard, your front yard, your neighbor's yard, come on down to Heritage High School. Must be a City of Menifee resident. We do not take commercial waste. And we're also going to be accepting a limited number of tires without rims. And then we're also going to be offering residents the opportunity to take mulch home. If you're a gardener and you're interested in sprucing up that garden, we will have a mulch giveaway as a part of this event as well. A couple save the dates. We've got our next Art Affair event happening at the Case Senior Center on September 22nd. Our Clean Air Expo is returning this year at MSJC on October 7th, and then our Fall Shred Fest is scheduled for October 14th. So those are our upcoming events. And that concludes my report. I'm here for any questions or if there's any additional information. We encourage residents to visit us at our city website or give us a call.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. I got to say, your reports are getting better and better and better. They're interesting. Great video, by the way, too. Council members, do we have anything, question? Yeah, Councilmember Sobek.
Yes, I just have one question, Mariana. Thank you for your report. Is the cool room still happening at the Case Senior Center?
Yes, anytime it's over 95 degrees, the Cool Center during regular hours of operation from 8 to 5.
8 to 5, and it will just continue when it's over 95 degrees?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for community services? Go ahead.
Thank you for adding more bins, because I got a lot of feedback there at Heritage where people are sitting in line for a long time, and then they get up to the front and the bins are full. In the future, is there some way that through the city app that they can check maybe on those days to see, what the potential is having available space in the bins or something, so they don't have, it takes a little bit of work to load everything up and bring it down there just to find out you got to haul it back home and wait till the next one. So if there's some way to blast that out on our city app or something, that would be helpful to the residents.
Yes, absolutely. We work with our communications team to either post on our social media pages whenever we're close to being full, but I understand not everybody's on social media all the time. Some people are, but we try and make that information available when we can.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hey, Mariana, thank you for the presentation. Yeah, if the communications are down too, just a suggestion. I was at that Quail Valley bulky item pickup, and if maybe someone from community services can walk down the line of cars and maybe just manually give them an update, because I know residents wait maybe half an hour in that line, and like Councilman Dinah said, just to get to the front, they find out, oh no, it's all full. So, if maybe we have trouble with the IT part, if just a team member can walk on down the line and give everyone a courtesy notice, just a suggestion.
Yeah, I appreciate the feedback.
Anything else, council members? All right, thank you so much, Mariana. All right, we're going to move on our agenda now. This is item 6, our agenda approval. Madam Clerk, do we have any modifications to tonight's agenda?
Nothing from staff, Your Honor.
All right, council members, do we have any changes ourselves? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, our agenda is approved, and we're now on item 7. This is public comments, non-agenda matters. And so, Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on non-agenda public comments?
Yes, I do have a couple requests.
Okay, before you read them, let me just read this. This is the time for members of the public to address the council about items that are not listed on the agenda. The Brown Act limits the council's ability to respond to those comments on non-agendized matters at the time that they're made. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes on a single item. Would you go ahead and call the first speaker, please?
The first speaker is Tony LaPiccolo, followed by Matthew Hunter.
All right, welcome. This looks like our Crime Stoppers team.
What gave it away, Mayor?
Yes.
Well, good evening. With your permission, I'd like to have Lisa approach the dais and hand out some materials for you to the City Council.
Thank you.
It's an automatic. Would you do that, Dean? I guess. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, don't mess around.
All right. Well, good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, City Manager, and the citizens of Menifee. Most of you know me, but I would like to introduce myself and introduce myself to the citizens of Menifee. My name is Tony LaPiccolo, and I'm the president of Southwest Riverside Crime Stoppers. With me this evening is Greg Day. He's our Chief Information Officer. We have Lisa DeLuna. She's our Director of Social Media. Not with us tonight is Carla Gonzalez, and she is our secretary. We're here this evening to reintroduce Southwest Riverside Crime Stoppers to the city. Southwest Riverside Crime Stoppers is a nonprofit organization, charitable organization that is managed by responsible individuals and business owners in the community that volunteer their time. Our goal is to make sure this community remains safe, and we want to assist the Menifee Police Department with gathering crucial information and tips that help solve crimes. January of 2021, Chief Walsh approached me to start up a local Crime Stoppers chapter. We took up that challenge and we officially launched January of 2023. Thank you, Chief Walsh, for the opportunity to serve our community. Additionally, we'd like to thank Chief Chris Carr and Captain Dave Gutierrez for being our law enforcement advisors. Southwest Riverside Crime Stoppers encourages members of the community to assist the Menifee Police Department in the fight against crime by overcoming 2 key elements that inhibit community involvement. They are fear and apathy. Southwest Riverside Crime Stoppers provides an anonymous tip line, a website, and a mobile application for your iPhone and or Droid. All tips reported are anonymous. As of today, we have received 80 tips since the beginning of the year. Our chapter provides a cash reward to the apprehension of the criminal. These cash rewards would not be possible without the generous participation of our area sponsors. For that reason, I am here speaking with you, trying to get the word out about Southwest Riverside Crime Stoppers. We are looking to expand our board of directors and also receive donations for future rewards. Southwest Riverside Crime Stoppers relies on volunteer board of directors and tax-deductible contributions. Those that donate help in our mission to continue to make Southwest Riverside County a safe place to live. As we continue to move forward, we hope to expand our marketing reach in Southwest Riverside County with a big focus on working closely with our local law enforcement agencies. As a board, we are hopeful that the City of Menifee and the Menifee Police Department will continue with their financial support. On behalf of the entire Board of Directors, we thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for
Council.
coming. We appreciate everything you're doing and helping us be one of the safest cities in California. So thank you, Tony, and the entire team. Lisa and Greg, thank you for being here. Tell Carla we said thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, next up, Madam Clerk.
Next up is Matthew Hunter.
Matthew Hunter. Welcome, Mr. Hunter.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. That's a kind of a tough act to follow. I don't have anything quite as big as that. But good evening, council members, mayor, city staff, and everyone else. Sorry, that's kind of a spur of the moment thing. I don't have any packets or anything to hand out. There's just one issue I would like to be considered further on down the line. Next to the new courthouse that's going in right by the Menifee Town Center on the southwest corner, there is a intersection. And if I can have a 1 minute, maybe I could look at the map and give you the names of the cross streets, I'm sorry, so that I'm accurate with everything. And right now it's not a four-way stop, but I can see that being an issue in the future because that street, which I believe is Great Oak Road, gets really busy, especially with those townhouses. So the street itself is really full. And when you're crossing to go that Great Oaks to go in the neighborhood or coming out of the neighborhood, you kind of have to inch out to the street a little bit to see oncoming traffic. And I can imagine once the courthouse gets built, maybe when the other sections of that shopping center are in, it can be even more of an issue. So maybe it could be researched and looked into, surveyed, whether a four-way stop would be appropriate there to make sure nothing bad happens.
Yeah.
So that was it.
All right, Mr. Hunter, thank you for a great suggestion. We appreciate that.
Okay, good.
I know Carlos is back in the back. Carlos, maybe you can meet Mr. Hunter in the lobby real quick. And is Mr. Fiddler there? I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you speaking with him, and we'll see if we can't find out if that's something that can happen. All right, thank you so much. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
There are no more speakers.
All right, very good. So we are now on item 8. This is council member comments and updates. I'm going to have Councilman Dinas kick it off.
Nothing to report, thanks.
Okay, council member Estrada.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I have two events that I attended. One was the MilVet Military Care Package event. I was there with Mayor Zimmerman, and I put together about two boxes, according to my recollection, and I hope it can bring a smile to our military vets wherever they are around the world. We wrote a nice postcard and gave them a bunch of goodies, any type of bathroom essentials. So we hope to do a good thing, and we hope they appreciate it. I'm pretty sure they will. The second thing that I attended was a Bureau of Land Management tour. I went with Canyon Lake City Council members. And if you live in Quail Valley, if you're watching at home, I understand and I hear you that some stuff might go on over there behind Quail Valley, and that's actually managed by the Bureau of Land Management, and Canyon Lake Code Enforcement helps manage that area. So if you're watching at home, I have a phone number for you. The phone number is 951-547-1239, and Canyon Lake Code Enforcement can help out, and you can always reach out to your councilman, Ricky Estrada. All right, that's all I got.
All right, thank you for your report. Councilmember Sobek's next.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to report out that I attended the You Matter collaboration. For those of you who may be here and haven't heard about it or on watching tonight, You Matter, we want you to know in Menifee You Matter, there's a website. Came out of the pandemic. A lot of people were experiencing stress, anxiety, depression, all ages, from our children to our seniors. And so there are resources available on the website. You can go to the city website and find out that information. They will start being at, having a booth at all city events to be able to just have information there for people who may be looking for it. One of the events coming up will be the Fall Festival and the Birthday Bash, which will be October 21st. And I like what our city's doing in community services. They are planning with a purpose. And so at the Fall Festival, for the second year, people can bring toiletries items, or they can make a donation for their children to be in the kids zone, and all of those proceeds will go to our local domestic violence shelter. And then we'll help them for immediate and emergency needs and for the holiday. I attended, let me just go ahead and share this one. I attended the football camp this last Saturday at Audie Murphy Sports Park, and we had former NFL players out that day. We had over 100 children, and they just had a great time. It was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it wasn't too hot. And I just want to thank all of our pro football players who came out to give a great day for our children there at the park. I attended the Riverside County Habitat Conservation Authority. I am on the board and represent the city of Menifee, and they had some prescribed burns, worked with CAL FIRE this year. The thatch, when the thatch gets thick, the kangaroo rats don't do well. And so that's one of the things that they do, is to do prescribed burns to help clean up the area so those little kangaroo rats can get through. They like dirt. So anyway, on the stinkweed, you heard me report out about that at the beginning of summer, this invasive weed that's really spread throughout Riverside County. It's now gone into Arizona, and they just said that California landscape is going to change and we will smell it too. But they will strive to keep that stinkweed out of the reserve, which is very, very important. I attended D.R. Horton ribbon cutting with our city chamber. That was in the unincorporated area of our county, right next door to us in Winchester. But those people will be coming into our city and probably using our roads and our shopping. So
thank you, by the way, for attending and representing us.
Represented the city there. Last night, we all attended, but I just wanted to give a shout out. We all attended the Citizens Academy, and we welcomed them here, about 36 residents. If you've not heard or know about our Citizens Academy, it's annually. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing it twice a year, Gina, or just once a year. Twice a year. You can sign up on the website, and you're going to learn all the ins and outs, not all, but a lot of the ins and outs of the way the city is run. What I was impressed last night, what a great group of residents. I was impressed why they were there. I made little notes, and they were there because they want to get involved, and they want to know more about the city. And just a really great group of residents that were there. And I just want to thank our staff. I just hear nothing but great comments from the people that attend the Citizens Academy and what they're learning and the information that you're providing. And I know it takes a little time out of your regular work assignments, but I think it's important, and I'm glad to see that we're continuing it. This was the third class. So it's open, it's free. So if you're interested in learning more about Menifee, join the Citizens Academy. I did want to mention that I found out today that last Friday, our little local Ono barbecue did a fundraiser for the victims in Hawaii, and they're going to be doing it again this Friday. So if you place an order online, 50% of that order will go to the victims in Hawaii. And then last but not least, I just want to send my deepest condolences to our CAL FIRE family. I attended the procession that ended at Evans Brown, and I will say it was very overwhelming to see the support from all over, near and far, of those who came out to support our past battalion chief, Josh Bischoff, who is now an assistant chief, or was an assistant, chief with the county. And then I did not know Tim Rodriguez, but he was also brought in that procession, and just send my deepest condolences to their family and also the CAL FIRE family. And just that's the end of my report.
All right, very good. And thank you for bringing that up. Tonight, we plan to close in honor of those lost firefighters. So, but we'll take that up as part of our adjournment. So, Mayor Pro Tem Carwin.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended the executive committee of the Western Riverside Council of Governments. Nothing to report out from WRCOG there. I was at the Rotary meeting. Mayor was there as well, and attended the Chamber of Commerce Wake Up Menifee at the Cherry Hills Golf Course, which is still very much in operation and hosting events. So and the mayor was there as well. I think all 5 of us were at the Citizens Academy kickoff, which was a great, great event. I'm so happy we're doing that and great to be a part of it. A couple of quick announcements. On September 25th, Monday, I will be conducting a District 1 town hall at the multipurpose room of Ridgemore Elementary School, starting at 6 p.m. It's open to everyone, so if you're just interested in what's going on in the city, come on down there, and we'll give you an update and be able to answer some questions for you. So that's going to be on Monday, September 25th at 6 p.m., Ridgemore Elementary School. And in support of our Menifee Arts Council Hot Summer Nights program on this coming Saturday at 7 p.m., I will be playing guitar and singing. I know. At the Menifee Arts Council Hot Summer Nights, it's the area in the courtyard between Breakfast Club and Bushfire Grill, right in front of the grill there. So bring a chair out there. It's free to everybody. Things to do in Menifee.
No eggs.
Tomatoes.
I know that your tomato crop came in, so if you show up with a basket, I'll know who's at fault. And then the last thing I want to do, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Nick Fidler and his entire team, because we were successful in opening up a bike path and pedestrian path along Normandy Road right before the new middle school opened, so students were able to cross through that portion of roadway safely. I saw kids riding bikes out there, 3 across and safely away from the cars. I know that is a Herculean engineering effort to get that done, at least in part, before that school opened. So I want to make sure all parents know that that road is open, ready to go, and I want to thank Mr. Fidler personally for his efforts, and in Orlando for getting the whole thing done, because that was just a major boon to public safety in that area. So I want to make sure everybody knows that it's up and running. That's all I got.
Very good report. I'm going to try to be quick. This is since our last meeting, August 2nd. On Friday, August 4th, I attended the Murrieta Temecula group meeting, and then Ann Mayer from RCTC was the guest speaker there. And then that evening was Foodie Friday over at MSJC, and there had to be 3,000 people that were there that night. There's a train for kids going around. It is an incredible family event. There's a hot rod car club that was there exhibiting their cars, and all the smells of all the different food vendors. It was just wonderful. So live band was playing, and it's just become a very, very successful summer event for our families. Tuesday, the 8th, was a community partners meeting that I attended over at the Menifee Library. And then that evening, I attended the Quail Valley Community Group. Our building and safety director, Craig Carlson, was the speaker. On Thursday, the 10th, Temecula State of the City was at Pechanga, and I just wanted to congratulate Mayor Zach Schwenk over there at Temecula. He did a wonderful job putting together a great State of the City, and I think there was over 900 people that attended that State of the City event. So well done to City of Temecula, and congratulations. Then that afternoon was a Rotary Club meeting with Councilmember Carwin, and the speaker was Al Rubio. And then Councilmember Estrada and I were at the MilVet event, and we were packaging up and assembling those care packages that go overseas to our military personnel, and that was over at the Fairfield Hotel. And we had, 100 and something people that were there packaging up all those packages. Our police explorers were there, and so I want to thank our team for bringing them. So anyways, great event. On Tuesday the 15th, there was a chamber wake-up, as Councilman Carwin said, at Cherry Hills Country Club. And we got to see Jason White honored with a presidential honor for his volunteer service. So that was kind of neat. And then there was
300 hours of community service is what he did, and he earned a medal from the president. So I want to specifically shout out that accomplishment they made. 300 hours of community service, incredible.
Absolutely commendable. So anyway, it's great to see one of our own being recognized. And then I did a welcome message at the first class with our Citizens Academy, and all 5 of us were there. So it was great to have the whole team congratulating our new Citizens Academy students. Today there was a League of California Cities Mayors collaboration meeting that was virtual, and that concludes my report. If anybody has anything else to add, now's the time. Hearing none, we're going to move on our agenda and item 9, and that's the approval of the minutes from August 2nd. Council members, do we have any changes to those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved unanimously, and we're on item 10. This is the consent calendar. All matters on the consent calendar are to be approved in one motion unless a council member requests a separate action on a specific item of the consent calendar. If an item is removed, it'll be discussed individually, acted upon separately. Madam Clerk, is there any request to speak on our consent calendar items?
No, there are no requests to speak.
All right, and council members, do we have any items that we'd like to pull to be heard separately?
I would like to pull 10.9.
10.9. Any others? If not, can I get a motion for the
So
balance?
moved.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we'll go ahead and pull those up.
My computer. Sorry, I have computer problems.
And I'm seeing the results here. Yeah, I'm getting a whole bunch of extra junk on my computer right now. And that passes. Okay, very good. That's unanimous. So we're going to go ahead and take the first item, and that is 10.9. This is the agreement with CLIPA for our holiday decorations. Councilmember Sobek, did you want to report, or did you have questions, or what?
I just had a question. There was no information in the staff report about what's going to be happening this year. Is that going to come back to the council?
Are you talking about the additional elements, or because
Yeah.
this was particularly for the decoration of the tree, the additional photo opportunities like the large ornaments, as well as the decorations in City Hall. So it's just for the contract to get the design and decoration services.
Okay, so like, are you going to work with them about what they're going to offer? Last year we had train, we had people on stilts, we had.
Those are all separate vendors. So this is specifically just for the decoration of the tree and the lighting.
Okay, so my one concern last year was we spent a lot of money for a one-night event. And I would like to see something that we start a tradition. We talked about this last year and it didn't happen. Where we have a place where families can go and have a photo op during the season. Some of our neighboring cities have those things up during the whole season. And so I was hoping to be able to see that this year. So maybe in your conversation, maybe that's something that might be able to happen this year?
Yeah, we have planned in fiscal year 24-25 to look at the potential opportunity to have that permanent tree in somewhere in the city so that it could be up all season long. So I think what we're looking to do is hopefully capitalize on some of the improvements at Central Park to use that as an opportunity. We're talking about like the parking lot, the Paloma Wash Bridge, amphitheater to kind of centrally locate a holiday tree. That's kind of what we're hoping for.
Okay, well, we use the tree right now at MSJC. Is there any way that that can be incorporated where people can go this year during the season where they can have pictures? I just hated spending all that money on one night for a few hours, and then there was we didn't have anything the rest
I
of the season.
understand. So
it's
we
just-
could definitely look into those
yeah,
options
just-
to make it available.
That was something that was a big conversation last year, and I was kind of looking forward to that coming this year, and I didn't see that in the staff report, so.
Yeah, that's just, like I said, this is just one component of the entire event, and we can definitely provide an update on the event in its entirety, so you can see all the components together.
Great, okay, thank you.
We'll need a motion on that if there's no more discussion.
So moved?
Okay. All right, and item 10.9 passes unanimously. Let's now move. It looks like we don't have any public hearing items, so we'll move to item 12, discussion items. The first one, 12.1, is formation of a CFD for Sumac Ridge, and I see Ms. Lockwood's at the podium, so welcome, Lori.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm Lori Lockwood. I'm the financial analyst working with special districts. We have a presentation. I see it's up. We're here tonight with a request to issue special tax bonds in connection with Sumac Ridge, a community facilities district within the city. It's a process that's gotten us here. This process started back in October 2020. At that point, we came to the Finance Committee, and the Finance Committee reviewed the initial documents in order to form the CFD. In September of the following year, the City Council got its first look at the CFD. You established the district, and you authorized bonded indebtedness not to exceed $15 million. The next month, you called the election, you determined it was necessary to incur debt, you certified the election results, you adopted the ordinance authorizing the levy of special taxes. Back in May, we came back to the Finance Committee, and at that point, you reviewed the bond issuance request. Tonight, we're here, and we're asking you to look at our request to issue bonded indebtedness for Sumac Ridge. We have with us two of the city's consultants, and who's going first? Shane's going first? Okay. Shane Spicer with the Spicer Group will take over from here.
Good evening. Welcome to the summer of bond sales. This is going to be the last one for a little bit. So, as was mentioned, the request before you is the bond issuance for the CFD, and this outlines what the bond issuance process is. The item tonight is for the third item here to approve the financing documents, and then it will proceed through the issuer to get sold and for bondholders to ultimately receive payments semi-annually through the tax roll. This is a general proximity of where the CFD is located within the city boundaries. A little bit about the project itself. As was mentioned, the CFD was formed in 2021. It's located at the north end of Scott Road and Linderberger Road. It is a Meritage Homes development to include 175 single-family homes. To date, there are 78 parcels that are individually owned of the 175. Actually, it's closer to 94. This information is as of June 19th, and we have better information since August 8th. It's substantially underway in its project, and so it's time for the issuance to occur. So the financing overview is not to exceed 15 million. We're estimating approximately 9.8 million due to current market conditions. This is a one-time bond issuance, so unlike some of the others where we've had parity bonds, this is the one and done. So upon development, ultimate build out, this is when the property owners will see that reduction in their assigned special tax after these bonds have been issued. These proceeds are to provide financing for public improvements, and currently the estimated special tax at the assigned rate would be $3,101 to $3,885 for this current tax year that was just enrolled with that 2% escalator. And with that, I will turn it over to Brandon.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council, and staff. It's a pleasure to be before you again this evening. Brandon Kafori with Urban Futures. We serve as the city's municipal advisor on the transaction. So this item before you tonight is a resolution to authorize the issuance of the 2023A bonds in an amount not to exceed $11 million. As part of the resolution, it also authorizes the execution of various documents that were included in the packet in draft form, and those are necessary to complete the transaction. They're listed on the page here: the preliminary official statement, bond indenture, continuing disclosure certificate, bond purchase agreement, and the good faith estimates. So we have a brief summary here of the transaction, and this is based on current market conditions. As Mr. Spicer alluded to, the current par amount is approximately $9.825 million, and this is a 30-year financing with a maturity in 2053. That's consistent with what was approved by the Finance Committee, I believe, back in May. Similar to our other recent transactions, we have a summary of the sources and uses for the bonds on the left side. As one would expect, the majority of the funds go to the project fund for the improvements to benefit the district. It's just under $8.6 million. We also have funds set up for reserve, capitalized interest to fund the first interest payment through September of 24, and cost of issuance, which are paid out of the bond proceeds. On the right side, as I mentioned, this is a 30-year financing, and we have modeled out the projected special taxes from the district as well as the debt service. As Shane had alluded to, this is a 2% escalator with the special tax levels, and we're structuring the debt so that there's a level of coverage between the assigned rate and the debt service. I won't spend too much time on this slide, but it offers another level of transparency to the transaction. This has the summary cost of issuance to really execute the financing work for this particular district financing. So we have all the different costs broken out here. These are negotiated with the city and paid out of bond proceeds at closing. So it includes the various costs for consulting, preparation of documents, and also there's an item in there for city staff time. To conclude this evening, we have just a brief schedule for the projected closing and pricing of the bonds. So should council choose to approve tonight's item, we are prepared to enter the market with a preliminary official statement as early as tomorrow. That will make it available to investors, and we're currently looking at next week for pricing of the bonds. That's when we set the interest rates. As of now, our current closing date when the bonds will be settled and funds are transferred is slated for September 12th. So with that, that concludes our presentation. Members of the financing team are in attendance should you have any questions, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Kafori. All right, if there's no other presentation, I'm going to go ahead and ask our council members, do we have any questions before we take public comments? No questions. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
No, there are no requests to speak.
And did we get any correspondence on this item?
No, we did not.
All right, thank you, council members. We can open up for discussion or entertain a motion to adopt the resolution.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Okay.
Second?
And the results for item 12.1 are passes unanimously. So let's now move to our next agenda item, 12.2. This is the League of Cities Annual Conference. We're looking for some voting delegate appointments, and I believe that Mayor Pro Tem Carwin and Councilmember Sobek are the two who are planning on attending. Is that correct?
I have learned since that I'm actually not able to attend.
So, okay, so this makes it a moot point then. I think we know who our appointed voting delegate will be then, right? Councilmember Sobek, if you so accept.
Yes, I will.
Okay, very good. I don't think we really need to do anything else with that, then we're okay. All right.
Sorry to spring that on you. I just learned it about 10 minutes ago.
So just as a formality then, council members, I'm going to make a motion that Councilmember Sobek be our delegate at the General Assembly voting, and I'll need a second for that, and we'll take a vote.
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you, Councilmember Sobek, for representing us at the conference this year.
Mayor, just a note, as of today, there's no agenda yet, so, but it doesn't mean that they will not include an agenda item between now and then. But so far, it doesn't look like there's going to be an agenda, so we still need to have an alternate.
All right.
And a delegate.
Yeah, well, we don't have an alternate. I mean, would the alternate be you?
We need one of you to attend.
Yeah, Dean.
We'll see.
Represent our city.
Right? We have 100% confidence in Councilmember Sobek. Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's take our next item if we can, 12.3. This is a discussion item, and it is a resident resource liaison. And I believe that Councilmember Carwin asked for this at one time. So Ms. Mitchell's at the podium. Maybe you can help give us a little presentation and tell us what we're going to be discussing.
All right, if I could please have the PowerPoint up. Perfect. So to help facilitate the conversation, I wanted to give an overview, a brief overview on what Community Services currently does with our community when it comes to making sure that our residents have access to information, resources, both local, county, federal, whatever's available. This is what's currently happening in the city of Menifee. So we, of course, have our in-person resource support, which is available at 3 of our community services locations, as well as City Hall, which isn't necessarily on this, but Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. we have the Community Services Administrative Offices, which is right next to the Case Sinister Senior Center, and then we have Lazy Creek Recreation Center down the way. So all of these have all of the same information as it pertains to the city of Menifee, but obviously we get certain questions more often than others at certain locations. So at the CSD administrative offices, we often focus on citywide things. We're kind of the catch-all. I don't know who to call about the pothole across the street. I don't know how to get a hold of somebody in Riverside County. So we kind of focus on citywide and county resources, whereas the Case and Sarah Senior Center often gets seniors who are looking for support regarding transportation, veteran services, what do I do when Medicare comes up, things of that nature. So really focusing on seniors and veterans resources. And of course, our Lazy Creek Recreation Center is the hub of our youth programming. So most of their support resources focus on youth and family resources with a lot of connections with our local school districts. And furthermore, when we talk about online resources, the website is currently available 24/7, ready for anybody who is looking for information regarding the City of Menifee, the Community Services Department, even things beyond ourselves. So of course, we have the City of Menifee website, we have the Community Services website. All of these websites have direct URLs, so sometimes it's hard to figure out where do I find senior program information. You can go cityofmenifee.us/senior programs. We have the same thing for youth programs, Menifee Recycles, and then also the website to report something. And then also our You Matter, which is our health and wellness page that has a number of helpful resources to our residents. So again, this is available 24/7 and on top of our regular in-person type of resources. Again, there's a page for each one of those, but I didn't want to put too many slides up here. And then, of course, our additional resources working with the county, we have Connect Riverside, which is 211 Community Connect. This is also available 24/7. It is both online and by phone, which our seniors appreciate. And this is for resources both in Riverside and San Bernardino County for local, county, federal resources, things from rental assistance, trying to sign up for LIHEAP, which is the energy assistance program. So this is kind of a catch-all. It's ran by United Way in conjunction with many of our nonprofit and community partners. And again, this is 24/7, either on phone or online. So this is just a brief overview to kind of help the conversation, and we're welcome to any feedback on how we can either enhance any of these resources or the availability of the resources to our Menifee residents.
All right, thank you, Mariana. Council members, do we have any questions before we get into a discussion? Councilmember Dinas has a question.
Thank you. On your second slide here, you say at the Case and Acero Senior Center, you have veteran services or resources. What are those resources, and two, how many veterans come to the senior center for assistance?
Currently, the resources are basically giving contact information to the local veterans resources. So veterans who, I don't have an account right now on the number of veterans that attend the senior center, but again, it's more referral services that we make available at the Case and Acero Senior Center.
Thank you.
Any other questions, council members? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item from the public?
No, we do not have any requests to speak.
Did we receive any correspondence on this particular item?
We did not receive any correspondence on this item.
Thank you. So council members, we can open up for discussion now. I'm kind of thinking, let me just kick this off. There are so many ways for us to connect with our residents and to provide to them these resources, but I just got a feeling there's some seniors who may not be able to go online and surf our website, and because it's all right there on our website. It's on our, probably if you look on our smartphone app, you can find things. If you read Menifee Matters is a good one. That goes to every household. But are they aware of the 221 hotline, or are they aware of how to find things like vector control or waste management information or animal control or mental health issues and all these kinds of things? So everyone always automatically thinks, well, just put it on the website and it's so easy to find, but not everybody has that savvy. So maybe all of us can kind of talk a little bit about how do we connect with people
Mayor,
other than the website?
The Senior Advisory Committee just printed out their resource manual, that it's available in paper form. They showed it to us at the You Matter collaboration. And it looks like it continues to grow.
Is that a mailer or what is that?
I'm not sure how they distribute it.
I can jump in on that.
Okay.
Yeah, the Senior Advisory Committee makes a point to go out to their local communities within their district. So they'll visit their local HOAs and drop off flyers and that senior resource directory, which was just printed.
Okay.
And you know, touching on, I know that we're trying to be transparent and we try to communicate with the community. We want them to be aware of these resources. You know, just a thought as you were speaking, a thought that I had is why not highlight one or two in our quarterly Menifee Matters? Just have a little corner where resources that are available. I mean, 211 is huge, and a lot of people don't even know about it. There's a, down in town, you know, in Riverside, we also have the senior hotline, what's it called? Office on Aging.
Office on Aging, yes.
Office on Aging. And so I know there's those things that are available. They have, the Office on Aging has just massive resources. And so maybe we just have a little section in our Menifee Matters where they're able to be highlighted once in a while, and we go through the list.
Yeah, maybe
just a thought.
Councilman Carwin, you have opportunities to connect with the folks in Sun City through their Core Courier magazine. Maybe you can add a little list of resources, you know, and just kind of help them be able to discover those things other than using the computer.
Yeah, we're always trying to find ways to reach out to folks. I forgot to ask you, at Case and Aceros, is there a computer terminal and printer set up there for the public?
We have a computer lab, yes.
Okay, so what I had envisioned when I brought this item is, you know, there's a lot of talk when we talk about resources, immediately goes to one of two places: seniors, low income. But there's a lot of folks in the middle that can take advantage of resources also who don't know. Like, for example, if you wanted to start a new business and you're not a senior, you're not low income, you're not a veteran, you're just an entrepreneur, there are a lot of resources available to help you find a an incubator to hook up with. There's going to be one here soon, or grants that come from the city or county or other places like that. And there's all kinds of benefits that are out there available to the public, not just limited to these more in need, in direct resource need, but just available programs and grants and resources. And what I would love for us to be able to provide to our public is, let's say somebody says, hey, I need to fix my roof and I'm thinking about doing solar. Are there any programs available for me to do that? And they can go to Case and Acero. So maybe you can sit them down at the computer and say, I know the portal you need to check. They might not know all the details of a state program, but they know it exists, or where to find out if it exists. Sort of like a research librarian. And expand that, obviously, you know, getting the message out is one thing, but finding like a what's the word I'm looking for? A concierge, should I say, for people who are trying to find programs that are available. You know, like our menu program. You want to start a restaurant. Is there anything that can help me do that? Yeah, the city has this program, but also there's available through the county and the state for grants available to help you start that. Kind of a portal to help guide people who don't know where to begin because the government is so huge. And there's all of this money out there that the government's trying to give back to people in the form of different programs, how we get our citizens to take advantage of it. And so what I was hoping is that maybe somebody, particularly the Case and Acero, is just the most logical place because it's staffed during hours and they have a computer lab and all that kind of stuff and we control it, who is familiar with how to find grants and programs for all purposes from different aspects of the government. That's kind of what I had in mind. I mean, beyond just, hey, the city has, you matter, you can go there. That's really specific to us, but we already know that stuff. We don't need anybody. That's what they do at Case and Acero Center, right? So, but I'm thinking about expanding it out so any citizen, not just a senior or somebody who's low income, but any citizen can go in there and go, I just don't know where to start on this thing because I'm thinking the government can help me out. And there can be somebody who can push them in the right direction, maybe pull up a website or two to show them. Is that something that is feasible?
I definitely think that trying to make the information more readily available and utilizing the resources that we have is an opportunity for us to kind of do that. It'd be a matter of training and ensuring that we have all the appropriate information, but I think anything is doable.
So, because the particular title of this item was a benefits liaison, which means a person who knows this stuff, not just how do we message out from here to the public, but if the public is looking for it, is there a central person that they can go to find out information beyond what's just our programs on our website?
Yeah, I think the difficulty would be identifying just one person to take on this task. Our front counter and even our front desk at most of our locations are typically manned by part-time staff. So,
do we want to just throw questions at Mariana, or do we want to have a conversation up here?
However you want to guide it, Mayor.
Let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
I think some of us have some ideas, but we're watching this back and forth here thing. All right, so we'll start with Councilman Estrada.
So I think this is a great idea. Here's the problem, though, that Ms. Mitchell brought up is there's a revolving door with staff, and they might be part-time or depending on the hours they work, who are they going to talk to? But you did a great job of getting through the presentation in under 5 minutes. I mean, I wasn't timing it, but it felt really quick. And one way we can help fill those gaps, so to speak, is making everyone at the city level a liaison, maybe giving a 5-minute presentation during one of the trainings or staff meetings. Say, hey, in 3 minutes, here are all the resources, these are all the numbers. If anyone walks through that door, you guys have all been briefed. Then every staff member is an immediate liaison. So it's just something quick, maybe do it an annual thing, biannual, just something to help fill the holes. That's my idea.
It's a good one, and especially our front desk folks that are doing the immediate contact with people off the street. We talked earlier about how do we connect with people other than just saying, hey, it's on our website, because not everybody has that. And I was very excited about Menifee Matters, but really excited about our newest TV channel that we have. And I think there's an opportunity there, even if it's just a 20-second video similar to the ones that Gina puts together for Business Spotlight, but somebody saying, hey, are you a veteran? Would you like to know about the following things? Here's this, this, and this, and it flashes up on the screen. And these are just little commercials that go in between each programmed item that we do on our Menifee streaming TV app. Just an idea. That's something that a senior who's not maybe going to go surf the web for information, but might be watching TV and watching the city's channel and go, oh my gosh, they keep showing these commercials of how do I find out about this for my grandkids, or how do I find out about I'm a disabled person and how do I get services, and maybe I'm having some mental health questions or whatever. So anyway, that's just a suggestion. And again, tonight's a suggestion and an idea opportunity. So next in the list is Councilman Dinas.
Thank you. The one question is, can we have one person know everything to answer all questions? To me, that seems like a tall order.
I'll Google.
Yeah. Yeah, they should write a book and retire, I guess. But the option then would be have some kind of a manual with those resources in it. So if someone calls, they can go, hopefully be categorized by, you want solar, you need this, you need this. Here's what the city has as a list for contacts, because you don't want to say, if someone comes, well, I need a solar, says, here's some companies you can go to, but then the city's then endorsing the companies. So we don't want to go that far, but if you're looking for, do you get rebates still or something like that, where you go to the federal or state websites and here's the address for it. That would make more sense, I think, to do that, to have something like that, because it'd take a while to hire someone and give them the expertise, and then off to another job they go because he knows so much. So I think, it should be some kind of a resource that the people that answer the phone and the part-time staff can at least have something to give our residents, some kind of information to start there, and let them then Google it or go to that website, and you can spend hours chasing down different websites there finding things. But that would be my recommendation, is to do that. That would at least give us some information without having to staff up for that.
So along those lines, I think that's a great path to take. Just more specifically, like let's say we've got somebody comes in and there's a city resource here. Is there a path to kind of vertical application of that? Hey, the city has this program, but the county and the state also have these programs. And just somebody who can say, by the way, you can add on to this by contacting these other programs, and here's where you might want to go to check that out. Not having one person who's got every program in the nation memorized, but somebody who knows, here's the portal to programs that the state offers. Here's the portal to the programs the feds offer, that can add on to the benefits or resources available from the city, and knowing where that stuff exists. So not so much that they have knowledge of every program that's available at the tip, everything stay updated on it and all the details, but to serve as sort of, there's 15 doors in front of you, which one do I open to find this information, and kind of, here's our program, and from there, you can follow that path to other things that would help you in the same vein. I think that would be helpful knowledge for people, because they don't have to go spraying all over the place. If they're starting with us, we go, by the way, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but the state also has a grant for this. You apply there and there and there and there.
I know Councilmember Sobek's been patient.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I will say, back several years ago when I was first on the city council, we had the 211 little cards. And it became obsolete once it was printed. Numbers would change, resources would change. And so in the last year and a half, as we've had the You Matter collaboration, we talked about a resource guide. And as we met with agencies from all over around the town and county who would come to the You Matter collaborations, that paper manual would have been huge. And then again, it changes within the time you print it. I think we have over 100,000 residents. How many are adults? 50,000, I have no idea. But I think everyone could have a different thing that they're looking for. And so it would be hard to identify and have that staff time that it would take to do that. But we've talked about some things here tonight that could be useful. As I love the idea of the PEG channel. I would like to know from staff, when somebody walks into City Hall and they meet the receptionist, I would like to know, are they getting their questions answered? What kind of questions are being asked? You know, is there a basic 20 questions, 25 questions that people ask, or is it 100, 500, 1,000 that that would help us make a better decision here? But is our receptionist here at City Hall somebody that provides those resources? We know at the Case and Acero Center, they provide them at the Lazy Creek. So that would kind of be a question for staff.
Well, the answer to that is we don't have a list of questions, but we do train our staff to be able to be experts on the programs that we provide. And some of those are basic services that we provide, right? Some of the things that we vet, we provide. We do make an effort to try to refer customers to other programs that other people offer, but I still don't have enough to narrow down the specialty of a person to be able to understand everything that people may want to ask. We don't have that. I don't have a good concept about that. We do, like I said, we do in most of our public counters have plenty of information to give or to refer to about the programs that we provide. And we do have several programs in our Economic Development Department and in Community Development Department that offer opportunities for grants and for housing loans and things like that. But I still don't have enough to narrow down what is it exactly I need to call this person, how we're going to staff it, and what we're going to give them to study, because we don't have a database of what are some of the most common questions.
Correct, and that's
questions come in from everywhere.
Yes.
And we try to focus on some of the programs that we provide, which are basic services, right?
So-
Not all of it.
So you kind of answered a little bit of my question is, I think we're getting the cart before the horse. I think we need to have, maybe we do a 6-month survey to see if there are any common questions that come across our citywide. And then are we then offering those answers in either the PEG channel or the Menifee Matters and helping those residents achieve what they want? Google is so, the web, you can find so much on there. And I can tell you personally, I have led many people to the county supervisor's office, and they have gotten answers on some things that we didn't have at the local level here. More things that pertain to state or federal. But I think before we spend the money and hire somebody to be a liaison for the city, we need to have some data and then use the resources we already have.
I agree. But let's use them. Let's use our Menifee streaming TV. Let's use our app. Let's use the Menifee Matters. Let's use outreach opportunities. You're going to have a town hall. It might be nice for you to just kind of pick off a few of those things. Do we have any veterans in the room? I want to share with you a couple of things that are available to you and that kind of thing. Just take advantage of our own opportunities. So, yeah. I love that you want to help people know where they can get existing resources. I think that's noble and the kind of thing that we all would like to see. So it's a good thought.
I think that's satisfying. Yeah, and just to let you know, I wasn't actually looking to hire a new position at the city for somebody to do that. It was more like what Councilman Dinas was saying, that somebody with knowledge, maybe getting people some extra knowledge to answer these types of questions. And I think the combination of the discussion was great. What Councilmember Sobek said is, hey, maybe if we had some idea of what does everybody have the information to answer these 10 questions, that no matter who they talk to, whoever they pull at the front desk or whoever can answer those questions, I think that would be helpful. It doesn't have to be 100. I think there's probably a good 10 questions or so that's common, that people who don't know what they're looking for ask for. And if everybody's trained on those 10 questions, I think that would be a good portal to start off with. So I think that's a good idea too. And the PEG channel, add like business spotlight type video for each of the benefit programs would be a good idea also.
Little mini commercials.
Yep.
All right, Armando?
So I was going to say, that's a good question. I think what we can do off of this conversation is maybe we do task our counter personnel to develop a list of the most common questions that people ask, and then develop a program after that, and maybe we can handle it with the existing resources. And if we see that people are asking questions that are a little more robust or more complicated, then we revisit the idea of having a liaison and see if our community is unique and they're asking more questions and more complicated questions than the basic questions that or services that we offer.
That sounds great. All right, we're good? All right, council members, let's move on to our next item, another discussion item. This one's 12.4, Teen Driver Safety Education Program. I see Lieutenant Barbieri coming to the podium. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. So I have a PowerPoint that just need to be put up there. Perfect. So good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. I'm here tonight to talk about teen driver safety. This was a topic that was brought up on in a meeting in October 19th of 2022 by former council member Leesmeyer. So as a police department, we recognize that the #1 cause of teenage deaths in the United States can be attributed to traffic collisions. It's devastating that as a community we have residents that have had to live through the loss of a child, not just our community, but our surrounding communities also. So as a police department, our goal is to reduce injuries and fatalities caused not only by DUIs, which most people attribute to the deaths in traffic collisions, but also distracted and reckless driving, which actually exceeds the DUI statistics. So the police department would like to accomplish this through enforcement and education efforts. So I'd like to go over some of the things that we already do. In response to the DUI statistics, we participate with the Office of Traffic Safety Grants. Our traffic division holds numerous DUI checkpoints throughout the year. We have directed enforcement campaigns that are focused on DUI driving. We also have directed enforcement campaigns that are focused on distracted driving. So we have National Distracted Driving Month, which focuses on cell phone violations and other issues involving distracted driving. We have a social media presence where when we have those DUI checkpoints, DUI directed enforcement, where we push out information to the public that acts as our education portion. We put out press releases so people understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, and the dangers of DUI, distracted, reckless driving. So a couple of the programs that we don't have, which I'd like to propose integrating right now, is like we have a school resource officer program that's we've just added another school to our program. So we have access to teenagers on a daily basis. So through the middle schools, through the high schools, even some elementary schools, we have access to teenagers to start to have some sort of impact on them. Two of the big programs that I'd like to present for consideration, the first one being the Every 15 Minutes program, and the second is called Impact Teen Driving. So Every 15 Minutes focuses on the DUI portion, the driving while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. So last year, approximately 4,000 teens nationwide were killed in traffic collisions. Of that 4,000 number, 25% of those collisions had some sort of drug or alcohol component to it. So Every 15 Minutes is a program that started back in 1996 when the statistic was every 15 minutes someone dies in an alcohol-related traffic collision. And over the years, we've been able to bring that statistic to a lessening number because of our efforts in the Every 15 Minutes program, all of the national campaigns that have gone on, and the education component of getting the message out. So for some reason in in this area, in this county, every 15 minutes program is not huge. It's not something that goes on every year. Other counties, it's more prevalent. Every 15 minutes program is a 2-day program that is focused on high school juniors and seniors. It's done in cooperation with the schools and the school district. And it's a big event. So it's something that requires cooperation from the schools, requires cooperation from multiple avenues within the city. So we get hospitals involved, we get local mortuaries involved, fire involved, hotels involved, because they're all required to put on this program. It's a big production. So some of the components include a Walking Dead scenario where students are chosen. They are dressed up, as you see in this top picture up here on the screen. They're dressed up to mimic the number of deaths that occur every day. These students are chosen. They are pulled out of their classroom and they walk around campus for the entire day. They are not allowed to speak to anybody. And they're not allowed to participate in any of the activities at school they would normally be associated with. During the lunch break, we usually stage a crash, where a mock crash where people are injured. One of the students, unfortunately, passes away, and then we conduct a DUI investigation where someone is arrested. While this is going on, the parents who are participating, their students are participating, we deliver mock death notifications to them. So it's a very emotionally charged event. This is a 2-day event. The kids sleep overnight in a local hotel where they do other activities. They'll go to a mortuary, they'll plan their funerals, and then it ends with them writing letters to their parents. So as I mentioned, this is a very involved process to get everybody on board to participate in this. And it can be costly, but some of these costs can be offset with mini grants from Office of Traffic Safety and in-kind donations from the participants of these businesses and other entities that we hope to involve. The next one that we're proposing is called Impact Teen Drivers. Impact Teen Drivers is a nonprofit organization which provides evidence-based education programs. It was started by members of the California Teachers Association and the California Highway Patrolmen's Association. And what they do is provide statistics and do it in a manner that doesn't scare the teenagers. It's focused primarily on distracted and reckless driving. And of those 4,000 deaths, 3,000 or 75% are attributed to distracted and reckless driving. So this is a free program where they come out, they train us to deliver these programs in the schools. They provide us with all of the curated videos, PowerPoint presentations, curriculum, and brochures to put this program on ourselves. We currently have 10 officers that were trained up on this free of charge. And the programs they're geared for middle school and high schoolers. And there's also an elementary component to it. We also have available to do parent presentations in English and Spanish. These are short 50-minute presentations that can be done in the classroom setting. They can be done by our school resource officers. And as these school resource officers get more involved with their students, the information can be accepted, more easily by the students because they have that relationship going. So as of now, there would be no fiscal impact to implement the Impact Teen Drivers. We could start that tomorrow if we wanted to. The Every 15 Minutes program would be more involved. We would have to go out in the community. We have to get buy-off from the school district to put this on, get their cooperation, and then seek out donors, seek out contributions from the city and from the school district to try to put this on. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Lieutenant Barbieri. We appreciate the good report, and we'll go ahead and open it up for some questions from our council members. Councilmember Sobeck's first.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your presentation. I know that Councilmember Leesmeyer was really passionate about this, having a teenager himself. With the on the impact teen drivers, with the increase of street racing that we've been experiencing, and we've heard a lot about it from some of our residents here in our city. Is that something that is included in that presentation?
Well, Impact Teen Drivers focuses on not only distracted driving, but reckless driving. As you know, many of you probably had teenagers at one point. If you don't currently have teenagers, they don't make the best decisions, and then we give them the opportunity to get behind a several thousand-pound vehicle and drive. So this focuses on making good decisions. Impact Teen Drivers focuses on not just telling the kids don't do that, but gives them the data behind it. Why do we have things like graduated driver's licensing laws? Why do we have instructional permits? Why, when you're 16 years old, you get a restricted driver's license where you can't drive your friends past a certain, during the first year, why you can't drive after a certain hour. So it doesn't specifically address street racing, but the decision process that leads someone to actually go and participate in street racing.
Okay, and thank you for that. And would this be only presented at the schools where we have resource officers?
No, we have, as I said, we have 10 officers trained up. They're not all school resource officers. There's just a greater availability at the school, but as I mentioned, we have a parent program that we can put on at the police department in a neutral venue. We can actually do it on a Saturday. We can do it whenever, and the time commitment wouldn't be that great from the police department.
Okay, one more question. Sure. In September, we have coming up the City and Education Summit. I'm wondering if this might be something that could be presented at the summit as information to this, since we'll have all the school districts attending there, just to hear the presentation about, well, both of these programs.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't have
Would
a
that
problem with
be something that would be possible? Okay. I'm seeing heads nod, yes, okay. I would love to, one of our goals as a city council is to become one of the safest cities in California, and I believe that this is a step to that. I would like to see the Impact Teen Driver get started. Like you said, it could start tomorrow. On the other one, we'd have to, I think it should come back once conversation's been done and see what kind of in-kind contributions can be and what the cost would be.
Yeah, we can absolutely do that.
That would be my thing. Thank you.
Lieutenant Barbieri, we had a program, I was reading in the staff report that the CHP was doing as well, Start Smart. Is that something that we would want to also consider?
So Start Smart and Impact Teen Driving are similar programs.
Okay.
Impact Teen Drivers is actually sponsored by the CHP and Office of Traffic Safety. I'm not sure why they have both programs that they support, yeah. But that program also focuses on distracted driving and reckless driving.
So it's kind of duplicating the same effort.
Yes.
Got it. Understood. Yeah. Councilman Carwin.
I know that you don't have the cost of the every 15 minutes program. Otherwise, you probably would have included it in your report. But I was just looking it up here, doing some little bit of research, and it looks like it's in the $15,000 range.
It can be anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 upon, just depending on how involved you want. And that cost is not a hard money cost. That is just the value of all the in-kind donations that we can get there. As I said, there's a mini grant that CHP offers, but they only allow you to spend it on certain items. So most of the cost comes in through in-kind donations, like if we stay at a hotel, getting the hotels to donate rooms for the night. We go to the mortuary, so them keeping their staff on to actually go through a process of planning a funeral for the kids. Some of the other costs that require hard currency would be when we go to the courts, we'd have to pay for the sheriff's bailiffs to stay because they would do it in off hours. So it just depends on how involved we make a program. I've been part of every 15 minutes for 20 years now. And when I started, it was an assembly and a car crash, and that was it. And then it just progressed from there, where we were staging it in the middle of the street. We had to close down the street, so we had officers come, that had to stand by. We landed a helicopter. We paid for guest speakers to come. So the cost, it's hard to judge what it would actually cost until we actually were in the middle of it and got all of the commitments for the in-kind donations. But
Yeah, I just want to make sure you understand. I was actually marveling at the low end. I thought it was
Oh.
going to be when you were talking about the high cost.
Yeah.
In government, when we talk about something costing a lot of money, $20,000 is not usually something that comes up.
yeah, but for a one-day event or for a two-day event,
So
to me, that's a lot of money.
So what would it entail for, what would you need from us, or what do you, I'm trying to figure out the question. I guess we couldn't obviously approve it tonight without knowing how much it would cost.
Right.
So what would it take to find that out and maybe bring that back to us?
If this is something that you would like for us as the police department to go out and start planning, first we would need the buyout from the school districts, the cooperation, since it would be happening on their campus during their school day. And then once we start to figure out who we can get involved in it, just through preliminary talks, I could come back with a hard number of what we would need from the city.
Where have you done it?
So for 20 years almost, I worked at Los Alamitos Police Department. So we had a very robust every 15 minutes program that we did every other year. I don't believe that the police department or the city actually had to outlay any capital for that program. It was done through donations, and then the police department would donate the time of the officers that participated.
The reason I asked you that is because this website I'm on right now is the youthcenter.org, and they're
Yep.
talking specifically about Los Alamitos High School.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's very-
the information that I was getting was about the exact program that you were putting on. So
Yeah.
I can wait for the discussion period, but that sounds like something I'd like to hear more about.
And I got a question from Councilman Estrada.
Thank you, Officer Barbieri. For the every 15-minute program, can you tell me about the reaction of the students when you pull them out of class? What kind of blowback do you get from parents or staff saying, "Hey, only specific students are being pulled out"? They'll be missing instruction and everyone else's day goes as normal, and then they have to stay at a hotel, and then they have to go through all of that, and then, and then the other side of it too, the students who don't participate, they're kind of like, "What's going on? Why are you wearing that?" So the only problem, I guess, any program is good, just awareness is good, but I'm just interested to hear your perception from those who are pulled out of class, those who aren't pulled out of class and don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so there's actually an application process that goes on prior to select the teenagers. People are nominated by teachers, parents, their friends at high school. Usually it's usually the friends that they think would benefit from this program the most, maybe the more risky ones, the ones that they know drink too much or maybe have gotten into a car and drove prior. So there really hasn't been any issues with people being jealous that they weren't selected or any favoritism or anything like that. Teachers are usually very supportive of it unless it's happening right during AP tests or finals, so we try not to schedule it during those times, but they understand the importance of it. A lot of teachers live in the communities that they teach in. They have kids that are going to schools in the communities that they teach in, so for them, they're willing to make that adjustment. They also put together packets for the kids to be able to do homework in the off time during the program. The response from the kids, at the beginning of the day, they're laughing and joking, and at the end of the day, they're crying. So, and their parents are too. So. Okay, thanks for that perspective. On the second program, the teen driving, that's a presentation to the school, an assembly, that everyone gets to see at the same time, or how? No, they're individually taught blocks, so they're 50 to 55-minute presentations. So if they were done in the school setting, then they'd pick, like in history class, one day, every period the officer would teach the history class. just a 1 hour block. If we were to do it in a setting outside of the school, same thing. It'd be about a 1 hour block of instructions, and you have question and answer periods. So it wouldn't, it's not like an assembly where you would teach it to the whole school.
Okay, and then what's the, in your experience, have you done it district-wide? Is the goal to specifically choose only certain schools? Can we do it district-wide all on the same day? And
Yeah.
what's the feasibility of that?
So we've never taught this program. We've never had this program. The idea is that we would utilize our school resource officers to the best of our ability while they're in the schools, but the fact that we can hold it outside of the school, we can open it up, we can advertise for people to come in at certain hours and certain days and certain nights. We make it available to the parents, so we do it after work, maybe in the council chambers or maybe over at the police department. So it's not specific to a school. We wouldn't just be focusing on one school or one district. We would make it available for basically anybody who has a teenager or any teenager within the community.
All right, thank you for the information.
Sure.
I like that answer, Lieutenant. Think outside of the box, because I think Councilman Estrada brings up a good point. We're taking away instructional time when we're pulling kids out of classrooms, but if we do it on a Saturday right here, then moms and dads are probably going to appreciate the opportunity. So
Right.
Thank you for being flexible on that. Any other questions, council members? All right, Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
No request to speak.
I know we did get one correspondence from the former councilman. Do we have any others?
No other correspondence.
All right, and council members, we can open up for any more discussion or direction. I think it sounds like we're all kind of on board with let's proceed ahead. We care about our driving young students, and anything we can do to keep them safe and give them a little instruction and maybe kind of a wake-up call kind of a thing. I know when I was 15, I could have used a wake-up call myself. I know our city manager wanted to kind of chime in, and then I see Councilman Dynas is after that. So go ahead.
I just wanted to mention that when the report was requested, we didn't have a well-designed RSO program. And I think since then, now we have 3 officers that are assigned to different schools, more particularly the high school. So this report is telling you that we have now the human infrastructure to be able to put together some really good education programs. We still need to check with the schools to make sure that we can incorporate those programs into the SRO program and also execute. But we do have, I think we have some staff members at the PD that have experience with that program, so we could actually do that.
Sounds great. Councilman Dynas is next.
Thank you. So I can remember the first time my oldest son got behind the wheel of a car and drove off without anybody in the car with him, and that was beginning of my hair turning gray. So I think any program we can do to assist our youth to be better drivers is important. If you can get on social media at any time of the day and you can find a conversation about how bad drivers are and complaints and stuff, it'd be nice to take our future adult drivers, our teenagers, and start teaching them now to be conscientious and safe drivers when they become adults. I think that's so important. When it comes to the programs, the impact teen driving, I think, that's kind of a no-brainer. You got 75% of the deaths are caused by distracted and reckless driving. To me, that would be the area to start focusing on as opposed to the drunk driving. I know that happens, but what's considered 75% of the deaths for our youth are just because they're more intent on changing the channel or on the radio or playing with their phone or something. I think that'd be a great way to start. It sounds like it'd be cost effective to do that, and it would start, I think, the city down a good path to protect our youth and to make better drivers. Thank you.
Totally agree. Any other comments?
I just want to thank our police department for being willing to bring this type of program to us and do this research and homework to present this. Thank you. Thank you. If we can save one life, we've done our job.
Right.
So thank you so much.
We're looking forward to a law enforcement update coming up pretty soon where you kind of show us some pictures of some things that are happening at our schools and with our kids in workshops and stuff. So hopefully it happens and that it has the effect that we all want.
Thanks, sir.
All right, I think we're good now, council members. We can move on. We're on item 13 now. Mr. City Attorney, do you have anything to report?
Not tonight, Mayor.
And item 14, City Manager, any updates?
No updates.
All right, council members, any requests for future agenda items? Councilman Dynas?
Thank you. Back in January, I had brought up the concept of a Veterans Advisory Committee, and I brought it forward as a future agenda item. I never received a second for it, but I guess there was some consensus that was a good idea. In January, I shared with staff some ideas about, in writing, about what this advisory committee would look like. I have not heard anything. It's not on the future agenda. So I was wondering, what is the status of that? And I mean, it's been about almost 8 months now and nothing. So I'd like to have it either put on the future agenda item so it doesn't fall off and be forgotten. The reason I ask is ever since I brought that up in January, I've been asked by a lot of veterans and those that support veterans, when is this going to happen, because it's important to them. So
let's try first the status. Do we have any updates on that request? I think we were all kind of in support of let's get a Veterans Advisory Committee programs fired back up again. It had stalled during COVID. And
Yeah, staff provided an update to City Council in January about that with some different options. Council discussed looking at it with the strategic visioning plan. So that was a direction to staff, and then also connecting with a lot of the veterans groups to see what the interest was. So we can provide an update to the City Council where we're at.
so should we put it on the agenda as a future agenda item? I mean, is that the best way to do it, or should we just anticipate an update coming soon?
We could do that if you would like to put it on as a second visit at that, now that the strategic visioning plan has been approved by the City Council, where this item might fit in there. We can do that as just another update on the Veterans Advisory Committee concept.
Okay. Any others? All right, so tonight we're going to adjourn our meeting, and it is 8:03. We're going to do that in honor of those 3 firefighters that we lost on Sunday, August 6, 2023 in the helicopter crash, namely our Assistant Chief Josh Bischoff, who was one of our Menifee battalion chiefs for a couple of years here recently, and then also Fire Captain Tim Rodriguez and the pilot Tony Souza. I know that there is a memorial ceremony that CAL FIRE's hosting, and it's in Ontario for both of those fire captains. And so, but I wanted to just kind of ask the council if we all kind of agree that it would be nice to have kind of a candlelight vigil or something here in Menifee after the CAL FIRE's event. Is that something you're all interested in doing? Everybody
Yeah, I
agrees
mean,
with that?
Josh was a resident of Menifee and well-known and well-liked.
And his family's still here?
Yes, so I think if it's okay with his family, I think it'd be wonderful.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. All right, so let's see if we can maybe put something together here shortly, probably the sooner the better, after CAL FIRE ceremony. But we are going to go ahead and close this meeting in their honor and their memory, and let's keep their families in our prayers. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Appreciate seeing everybody here.